happy Wednesday evening, May 2020. I'm Riley King, and welcome to this Wednesday evening edition of the Riley King Newscast, right here on the Riley King Network. We have a lot of news to get to this Wednesday evening, so let's begin. First up, 149 new COVID-19 cases, 51 in Manchester long-term care facility, announced in New Hampshire. 8 more Granite Staters die of coronavirus, health officials say. New Hampshire health officials said Wednesday 149 new COVID-19 cases have been confirmed, and more than one-third were at a Manchester long-term care facility. Health Commissioner Laurie Shipperton said 51 of the new cases were discovered during a testing event at Viola Crest Nursing and Retirement Center in Manchester. The state has been testing residents and staff members at long-term care centers in effort to identify asymptomatic cases of COVID-19. 8 more Granite Staters have died of COVID-19, and 6 were residents of long-term care facilities, officials said. New outbreaks of COVID-19 have been identified at 2 long-term care facilities. 2 residents and 4 staff members at Community Bridges in Belmont tested positive, and 10 residents at Greenbrier Health Care in Nashua were positive for coronavirus. Governor Chris Sununu said 2 more flexed testing sites in Londonderry and Keene will be open Sunday, bringing the total number of testing sites in the state to 9. Anyone who meets one of the requirements for testing, including anyone age 60 or older, anyone with symptoms, or anyone with certain pre-existing conditions, can schedule an appointment to be tested at one of the locations. Shipperton said that, in addition, household members of people who meet one of the current requirements will be able to get tested starting next week, as can staff members at child care centers. Shipperton said testing has been increasing in New Hampshire, saying the state is now averaging more than 2,000 tests per day. And now let's take a look at your COVID-19 in New Hampshire, what you need to know information. And here is the look at that information for all of you. There are 3,868 number of people in New Hampshire have tested positive for COVID-19. 1,539,633 number of people in the United States who have tested positive. 190 number of deaths from COVID-19 in New Hampshire. 385 number of people who have been hospitalized with COVID-19 in New Hampshire. And 92,645 number of deaths from COVID-19 in the United States. And here's a map of New Hampshire where current cases of COVID-19 are in New Hampshire. Manchester, 572. And here's a look at where total cases of COVID-19 are in New Hampshire. Manchester, 869. Let's take a look at these three charts. The first chart, new cases each day in New Hampshire. In the purple, daily new positive COVID-19 cases. In the orange, new hospitalizations. And in the red are the deaths. This chart here, current cases. In the purple, total current COVID-19 cases. And in the orange, current hospitalizations. In this chart here, total cases. In the purple, total positive COVID-19 cases. In the orange, total hospitalizations. In the red, deaths. And in the blue, recovered. And now this chart here by age group of cases. By female and male. And risk information. This chart here, race/ethnicity of cases. Hospitalizations, deaths, and percent of New Hampshire population. And your common symptoms: fever, lack of smell, cough, chills, and difficult breathing. How it spreads, and prevention tips. And be sure to stay with the Riley King Network for the latest of your COVID-19 information. Live on News 9 at 5:30 p.m. this evening, New Hampshire official answers questions about unemployment. Richard Lavars to discuss unemployment system and benefits. That will be at 5:30 p.m. on WMUR News 9. And now let's take a look at your U.S. stock market and see how your U.S. stock market closed for this Wednesday evening. And here's a look at that U.S. stock market for all of you for this Wednesday evening. Your Dow Jones Industrial Average closed in the green, went up. Your Nasdaq closed in the green, went up. S&P 500 closed in the green, went up. Gold closed in the green, went up. Oil closed in the green, went up. EIOS 10-year closed flat. Euro/USD closed in the green, went up. And VIX closed in the red and went down. S&P 500 closes at highest since early March as Facebook and Amazon hit records. Dow up 300 points. Stocks rose sharply on Wednesday, building on this week's gains as traders increased bets of an economic recovery with more states easing stay-at-home orders. Tech shares lead the gains. Lawyers of slain jogger weary about 2017 videos. With more on that, let's take a listen to that video from ABC News.
There is news this evening in the Ahmaud Arbery case, the African-American who was shot and killed while jogging. Tonight, 2 prior videos now surfacing showing Arbery in interactions with police and what lawyers for his family say these videos show. Here's Steve Osunsami.
What's your name? What is it? Lawyers for the family of Ahmaud Arbery worry that these police camera videos that have suddenly surfaced from 2017 will appeal to racist stereotypes of young black men. The shooting victim's family says that this one shows another instance where the former high school athlete was seen as suspicious, this time by Glenn County police, who see him sitting alone in his car and suspect drugs.
I'm not here to ruin your day. I'm here to look for any kind of criminal activity. That's all I'm doing.
Criminal activity? I'm in a car at work. Talking about.
Another officer arrives, pulling out a stun gun.
I think I see something plastic in the thing over here.
Go ahead, bro. You can't go in my car.
You're not allowing me to search your car?
You can't go in my
I'm not asking you. Just don't reach for the car.
Your hand in your pocket.
Hands out your pocket.
But the stun gun failed to fire, and in the end, he was never charged with a crime and left the scene. Nearly 2 weeks later, he stopped again, this time accused of trying to steal a flat-screen TV. He agrees to plead guilty and is put on probation.
We see a common process in almost every one of these cases. You have a victim shot dead in the streets, and give it a few days, and suddenly you start seeing images of that victim cast in a light as a criminal.
These are unrelated to what happened here in February, when authorities say he was chased and killed by Travis McMichael and his father Gregory, who worked for the Glenn County Police more than 30 years ago. Arbery's family says he regularly jogged through the neighborhood. The McMichaels told police he looked suspicious when they saw him here, walking through a construction site a few doors down, and say they were trying to make a citizen's arrest. The family who owns the home being built has now shared these other security camera videos showing, for example, a white couple who came at night and children during the day who the McMichaels never chased and who certainly weren't killed. An outside judge is now assigned to this case. That judge is from Savannah. We are expecting a bond hearing soon. David?
All right, Steve Oates and Solid. Thanks.
Hi everyone, George Stephanopoulos here.
Okay, and there you go on that video and that report. And thank you for watching this evening edition of the Riley King Newscast right here on the Riley King Network. I hope you all have a great rest of your Wednesday evening, and I'll see you back here tomorrow for another newscast. I'll have a news report coming up in a little bit. Good night and bye, everyone.